So, if you've been selling for a while, you've probably been in an environment where you know there is something somebody could find out about the product or service that you're selling, which might put it in a negative light. And you need to figure out exactly how it is that you want to deal with that. And let me give you a real life example. We had somebody come knocking on our door at home, wanted to sell us solar. Okay. The guy was actually pretty good. He was a nice guy. He had a formula that he was following, asking the questions he was asking, not overly aggressive, and I thought he was doing a pretty good job, and I liked the way he approached it. Of course, I'm always observing behavior. That is my nature to do that. And so he was going through the steps and laying things out and looking at our electric bill and doing all the things that you need to do in that type of an environment. And he left his paperwork behind. And we agreed that we would reconnect during the week to determine what the next step would be in terms of, did we want somebody to come out to do a site inspection or whatever else needed to be done. And of course, as soon as he walked out the door, I went and Googled solar companies in Southern California, found the company that he represented, and found their reviews. I think it was Yelp reviews. Maybe it was another type of review. Now, it's kind of irrelevant. What was relevant was that there were 17 pages of the most awful reviews. I mean, it was mind-boggling how much people hated this company. And how bad their service was, and how bad their follow-up was, and how they felt ripped off, and on and on and on. And of course, my thinking is, this poor schmuck is going out there trying to sell this stuff. And it's like, if anybody would spend 30 seconds doing research, they would find these 17 pages. Now, point of comparison, looked at other solar companies, and yes, they had some bad reviews. They might have had 2 pages of reviews or 3 pages of reviews, and they had good reviews intermingled with bad reviews. Love my installer, Joe was a great guy, couldn't do enough to help us out, along with the bad reviews. So P.S., the guy calls me back, and I say to him, I'm not moving forward with you. And he said, oh. He said, you seemed so interested when we got together face to face just a few days ago. What's changed? And I said, Bill, when I went online, I found 17 pages of bad reviews, and I just don't know how I could consider myself still a reasonably intelligent person and move forward with your organization. And of course there was dead silence on the other end of the phone, and he said, well, yeah, I understand how you feel, and I'm sorry. Of course, the people that are happy never write reviews. We know that, and we know that people that are unhappy tend to go on and on with that. And I go, yeah, I get that. I understand that. That's fine, and we moved on. My thinking, though, as a salesperson, is you knew you had 17 pages of bad reviews when you were at my house. What could you have done, if anything, to change the flow of that? And my first thought is, you acknowledge it right up front. You get out in front of that. And you may ask the prospect, let me ask you a question. How tied into you are what you see as social media, either good things that are said by people or bad things that are said by people? Now, some person might say, oh, I take that real seriously, and yeah, if I see that, I'm never going to move forward. Yeah, a lot of people might say that. But other people might say, That's a bunch of crap, you know, people, you know, they need to get a life, you know, I mean, yeah, you know, the 100 people that are happy won't say anything, but the 1 or 2 people that are pissed off, you know, they'll go on and on. Say, I think this person may be a prospect for me, whereas the first person clearly is not a prospect for me. So, you need to get out in front of information that you know that can get in your way, because you'll save yourself a lot of time, you'll manage your time much more effectively, and second, at least you're giving yourself a shot. Because if I would have said that, if I would have said, oh, I think social media, you know, that's a bunch of crap, then that would have put me in a very uncomfortable position when I found those 17 pages of reviews to say, well, now I'm going to lean on that because I just said I wouldn't. Now, I'm not saying that that would always be the case, but at least you have a shot. But you also need to look at it as a salesperson, is if you're having that much trouble framing bad news, maybe you need to find a new job. And the funny thing is, that salesman called me just a few weeks ago working for a new company. So obviously, he figured that out. Hope this is helpful for you. Remember, we talked about framing in other videos, and I referred to a book that I thought was a very, very good book that talked about framing. And you may want to go back and watch that video. Search through the videos and do a search on the word framing, and you'll find me holding a picture frame up next to my face, and you can watch that. The book, by the way, is called How to Pitch Anything by Orem Claff. See, you thought I didn't remember the name of the book, but I did. Thanks for listening.